If you've been holding everything together for a long time, pushing through, showing up, doing what needs to be done, you might be starting to feel that bone deep exhaustion. Like, I just can't keep doing this the same way anymore. Maybe you've even thought, I need to stop pushing like this. But right behind that is the question, if I stop, what happens then? If this is where you are, this is the episode for you. Do you want to achieve your goals, but anxiety is tripping you up? Like to keep those fun weekend plans, but depression has you canceling again? Hey, I'm Lori, dog mom, lover of nature, and hygge enthusiast. Positive psychology skills help me overcome chronic severe PTSD. If you're ready to learn how to overcome your anxiety and depression and rediscover happiness and purpose in life, then get your cozy on and let's get started. Welcome back to Practical Solutions for PTSD. If emotional stress has been building lately and you're just tired and overwhelmed, discouraged, and anxiety is just a living thing for you, let me invite you to join me for a 45-minute workshop called Calm Emotional Overwhelm. We're going to be dealing with 3 practical tools that ease chronic stress, anxiety, and depression. This workshop will help you learn practical strategies to calm your nervous system when stress begins to spike, interrupt negative thinking patterns before they spiral, shift your perspective so challenges feel a bit more manageable, and reconnect to purpose so you can move forward. You'll leave with tools that you can use right away. These are real tools for real life. So just go to ceoworkshop.grwebsite.com to sign up. The workshop is on April the 21st at 10 o'clock Central Time. In fact, it is exactly 1 week from when this episode goes live. Can you believe that? It's here. I can't believe this. This is going to be so much fun. So go to ceoworkshop.grwebsite.com to sign up. It is free. There's no charge. There's going to be some door prizes and some special offers for you, so you don't want to miss it. If you can't attend live, there will be a recording that's sent out later. So don't let that hold you back. I know there's a lot of people that do not live anywhere near the central time zone. So if that's you, that's okay. You can go ahead and sign up. You can still take advantage of a lot of the opportunities you're going to have here and hear all the great things that go down in the training after the fact. So again, just go to ceoworkshop.grwebsite.com to reserve your seat today. There's this moment in the healing process that a lot of people don't talk about. And I don't know that I've addressed directly here either. I'm going to today. Yay. And that's that moment when you realize I can't keep doing what I've been doing. You've been strong. You've been pushing. You've been showing up even when it's hard. But there's something that's saying, this is not sustainable anymore. I cannot keep up this pace. I can't keep up with this pressure. But then what? Because right behind that realization that you can't push anymore comes fear. Because if pushing has been the thing that's holding everything together, then stopping is like, what? Disaster is going to happen. I can't stop. And I remember when I was dealing with this when I was in Kuwait, because I was leading a project. It was multinational, a lot of different facets and moving pieces. And I was the subject matter expert. And I knew this inside out. I've been working with it for like 3 years. And I didn't feel like I could stop. It's like continual demands. And I just had to go, keep pushing, keep pushing. Now, this is where this is definitely do as I say, not as I did. Because I kept pushing. I didn't stop. And this is what led to extreme burnout and PTSD. So I've learned this lesson to stop before I get to that point. But it's so easy to feel like I can't keep doing this. I just can't. And yet, what happens when I stop? There's no one there to pick up the baton. There's no one to carry this forward. If I'm not there, everything collapses. This is a real thing. It's like if I don't keep going, I could lose momentum, or if I stop, I might not start again. If I slow down, everything falls apart, and all these people who are depending on me, I won't be there for them. So instead, you stay in this cycle. Like you push super hard until you're exhausted and you just collapse, and you shut down completely, and you rest just enough to recover so that you can get up and push all over again. And you just go back and forth between this, I'm completely burnt out and I can't take it anymore. So you just kind of collapse in a heap. And then you go back into shutdown and you recover enough so you can push some more till you're in a heap and you shut down. It's like this huge infinite circle that you're stuck in. And it's really hard to find your way out of that and to figure out a balance. And this is coming from someone who tends to be an all or nothing person. Like I'm either going all out or I'm not going at all. It's very easy for me to get into. So learning how to fit in that middle ground, this is a process. And it takes a lot of time to figure this out. Depending on your personality, it could take more or less. But there is a third option. Isn't that exciting? You don't have to go from burnout or shutdown and choose one, but there's somewhere in between where we can learn to manage our time and manage our energy and manage our stress and anxiety and be able to get in this middle space. And we're often not taught this. This isn't talked about a whole lot, this middle space. I know there's a term that's used a lot anymore about work-life balance. So I'm not talking about work-life balance, but it would be similar in concept to something like that, where you're trying to find a balance between pushing forward and handling your responsibilities and yet being able to know when to dial it back and to rest and relax and recover. We're taught just to work harder, to push through, to stay stronger. And folks, I did this. I mean, I pushed and pushed and pushed and like, okay, I need to dig a little bit deeper because I can do this. I remember about 3 months before I ended up coming home from Kuwait, and I really was nearing complete burnout, but I wasn't quite there yet. I still had a little bit left to give. I remember sitting in my battle buddy's office and he was heading home. I was staying behind and continuing with a mission. And I was crying, saying, I just want to go home. I just want to go home, but I have to stay here. And then picking myself up I was sitting on a chair, picking myself up, wiping my face from the tears, walking into the commander's office and justifying why I should stay for another 3 to 6 months. This is just craziness. I mean, why did I ever do this to myself? But it's where you feel like you just have to keep pushing and push a little bit longer and stay a little bit longer and try a little bit harder. Or when you just can't anymore and you have to rest and escape and disconnect and shut down and close everybody out because you cannot handle anymore. Your body literally just collapses in on itself and there's nothing else you can do. I mean, by the time I did come home, I was walking up to my pastor and saying, don't even ask me to sing, which I love to sing. Like, do not ask me to sing. Do not ask me to teach anything. I literally had nothing left inside because I had pushed so far, there was nothing left. But there is a third way to do this. You don't have to be either in full push mode where it leads to burnout or full shutdown mode where you're just, that's it, I'm done. There's a third way to do this that is much more sustainable. And it helps you to stay engaged with your life without overwhelming yourself. What a novel concept. So this isn't about doing more. It's about doing things differently, more efficiently, more effectively. And folks, I'm telling you right now, if you're in this position where you feel like I just have to keep pushing because if I don't, the whole world's going to stop revolving when I do. Everything's going to fall apart. That's not true. The world will continue to turn. But the other thing is if you learn to balance this, you end up being much, much more effective and more balanced in your approach than if you keep pushing through it. Because it's in those times when you collapse that you lose all these months, and for me it was years of high productivity that I could have had I been wiser about managing my energy when I was in that really high op tempo time. If I had managed that sooner and learned to stay engaged with my life without overwhelming myself, I could have been highly productive for the next 10 years. So this is what I'm trying to help you guys to avoid. You do not want to go there. So there's a different way that you can change this and take a different perspective and help you to better manage your energy while you're going through this healing process. If you have gotten to the point where you are burnt out and you get to this healing process and you find you can do stuff and you're automatically tempted to go into full throttle mode, if I can talk, which can then push you right back into burnout, and you want to avoid that. So instead of asking yourself, how do I get everything done? there's just so much to do and I have to work, 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 and go, 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 go to get everything done. Start asking yourself, how do I stay connected in my life without burning out? And that question changes everything. Another question I ask myself sometimes is this the life that I want to live? Is this the way I want my life to be? That can often bring me up short and help me to really start considering what I'm doing. Because if you shift that perspective to how do I stay in my life without burning out, or is this the way I want my life to be, the kind of life I want to lead, it brings you out of that space where you're trying to prove something. Instead of trying to prove everything that you can do, you're now supporting what your true capacity is between, balancing between managing your daily responsibilities and being able to manage you as the most precious resource that you have. Being able to balance those two and use them effectively. So, there are three things I want to talk to you about today that can help you to stay in this middle space. Now, you're not going to do it perfectly. At least I still don't. This is something I still have to work through, but it's something I'm aware of and I consciously work on. You're not going to get it all at once. It's going to be, could be very likely will be a gradual process, but that's okay. Because, as we move closer to the other side, we're further away from the bad side, right? So we're going to stay with this. So the first one you're going to do is positive perseverance. And this is stuff I'm going to be talking to you more in depth on the Calm Emotional Overwhelm workshop. But with positive perseverance, one, you keep showing up. You're not pushing, but you're not quitting either. You're just saying you're staying present, you're staying connected, you're staying in the moment a little bit longer. I remember when I first went back to school as a non-traditional student to get my degree in IT. I remember a doctor coming up to me that I go to church with him. He's an orthopedic surgeon. And he said, Lori, something I was told in my early days in medical school by one of our professors and leaders in the program was that it wasn't the smartest people that became doctors. It wasn't the most talented ones necessarily, or the most gifted people. It was the people who kept showing up. They just kept coming to class. Day after day after day, they kept showing up. They might have bombed a test, but they kept showing up. They might be struggling to understand the material, but they kept showing up. Those are the people who actually achieve the goal. And we hear about this from childhood, the rabbit and the turtle, right? They had the race and who won? The turtle, because the turtle just kept at it consistently, just kept showing up. And so this is the same thing with positive perseverance, is you just keep showing up. You don't quit. You just keep showing up. But it doesn't mean you have to show up dramatically. You don't have to do like these major sprints or huge pushes. You just remain faithful. Number 2 is you soften your thoughts or adjust your perspective. Now, we tend to, when you're in this whole burnout, shutdown, like push, push, push really hard and crash really bad. When you're in this cycle, you tend to have extreme thinking. Like, I can't do this anymore. This is at the end of burnout. Like when you've pushed too far and you're about to collapse. Like, I just can't do this anymore. I can't go one more step. I cannot function like this any longer. You can shift this a little bit. Just change your perspective a little and adopt some of that both and thinking that I've been talking about. This is hard. What I'm in right now, this is really hard. And I can take one step. I may not be able to run the marathon. I may not be able to go an entire mile or even an entire block, but I can take one step. So it helps adjust your perspective just a little bit. So you're not forcing positivity because that can get very toxic. You do have some positive perspective in there, absolutely, in that perspective shift. And that's also incorporated in that positive perseverance is some of that gratitude. But this isn't forced positivity. We're like, oh, just smile and keep going. There's a silver lining to every storm. This is hard. This is really difficult. But I can take just one more step. Changing your perspective, altering it just slightly can be super powerful in helping you through that middle, keep you connected to that middle ground. Number 3 is staying connected to what matters. And the heart of this is purpose. Now, I know I talk about this, about having a larger purpose in life. And, God uses our pain and directs us to, this is what your purpose is. And I'm taking you here and utilizing this. And I mean, being behind this mic is one of those big purposes for me. But it doesn't have to be big. Like the purpose that is keeping you anchored in that middle ground does not have to be a big purpose or an overwhelming purpose or how am I ever going to achieve this purpose. This could be something that, what matters in this moment. This is the middle space where you're not just shutting down completely saying, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to walk away from it. I'm just overwhelmed. I just quit. I can't do this. Or you're not, going all out. I have to pursue the big purpose in life. I have to accomplish the big purpose. What matters in this moment? And sometimes one way I reword this is a bit for myself is what is one thing I can do today that is going to move me closer to my overall goal? Or you could, to use the term purpose, is what is one thing I can do today that is going to move me closer to my purpose? What matters in this moment? What is the most important thing right now? And this is where we find our middle space in between the burnout and, totally falling apart and that push, push, push. Try this. This is just a little small practice for you to try. Pick one thing that you would normally push through and do it differently. Just one. You don't have to revamp your entire life. We're just going to look at one thing. And then here's your practice. Do just a little bit less. Instead of pushing through that, I know this is revolutionary. Normally we're told to do a little bit more. I'm going to tell you to do just a little bit less. Stop a little bit earlier than you normally would. Stay a little more present. Instead of looking way down the future and trying to reach that huge goal or just feeling like you're going to disconnect completely, stay a little bit more present. And then notice what comes up. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to, re-alter your whole life philosophy. Just notice what happens when you do that. When you do a little bit less, stop a little earlier, and stay a little more present. Now, I know this is going to feel odd if you've not done this before. It's going to be very not intuitive. It's not going to be intuitive. You're going to have to retrain your brain a little bit. And that's okay. This is where you learn. You learn different ways to relate to your life and to be able to handle that stress and to manage that anxiety and depression. In the next episode, I'm going to walk you through how to actually start doing this in real time, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed, burned out, or like you're barely holding life together. And if you want support with this is exactly what I'm guiding you through in the Calm Emotional Overwhelm workshop. I mean, literally, we're talking about those 3 points: positive perseverance, perspective, and purpose. So for now, just hold on to this. Here's a thought for you. You don't have to keep pushing the same way anymore. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to make a few tweaks and adjustments. One final reminder for you, you can sign up for the Calm Emotional Overwhelm Workshop by going to ceoworkshop.grwebsite.com. That's ceoworkshop.grwebsite.com. Hey, my friend, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you please take 30 seconds and share it with someone you know who may be struggling with depression and anxiety? Also, would you please leave a quick review for the show? Knowing how this podcast is helping you fills my heart with so much joy, and it motivates me for future episodes. For now, it's time for Sam and I to head outside to enjoy some sunshine and fresh air. We'll see you back here on Tuesdays and Thursdays for more great episodes.